I want to invite another speaker to the table. He is a master of disruption, an entrepreneur with a big heart, and generates in excess of about 10 billion US dollars in group travel bookings per year, who is going to share with us a bit on the digital revolution. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Tim Hentschel, the co-founder and CEO of HotelPlanner.com.
Oh, thank you, Kirk, for that amazing introduction. I'm going to be presenting to you is a new idea, and I hope you guys can enjoy it. I know Jamaica is a place that embraces new ideas, and so I felt like I could bring it here. And I've met such amazing, very, very intelligent people, and I really want to be able to present this to you in the correct way, and then you can embrace it, and I want all the feedback I can get for it. So excited to be in Jamaica, such a great country full of great revolutionary ideas, and I hope this can be one of them. So what I'm presenting to you is the 4 stages of the digital revolution, and what it's about is taking a bell curve and predicting the future on a bell curve based on the 80-20 rule. And so if you guys don't know the 80-20 rule, it goes like this. 10% of people will fanatically embrace something and always do something. And 10% of people will adamantly oppose that same thing and never do anything. And then the 80% in the middle, gradually move towards wherever the enthusiasm or the culture pushes them. So this is the concept that I'm presenting here. So imagine on the y-axis, the vertical axis, you have enthusiasm for the internet. And then on the horizontal x-axis, you have a timeline. Then you have the perfect bell curve. And then when you hit that apex on the bell curve, you'll hit the height of enthusiasm for the internet. So let's begin. So now we're looking at stage 1. This is where we get the innovators, the early adopters, the tech evangelists. And this period was about 98 to 2003. And the reason you look at those dates is if you look at where successful travel tech, direct-to-consumer startups came from, there's about a 70% success rate in these years. So this is a very important period to look at. These were the very tightest of pioneers, and I'm going to present some of those to you right now so you can get an idea of who they are. If you know who this is Barry Diller. I consider him the godfather of the internet, and he was a media mogul that owned Home Shopping Network. And his Home Shopping Network does what you want to do is get people to pick up the phone and call, because while supplies last, and then once you get them to pick up the phone and call, the next thing is you got to get that credit card. So Barry Diller saw that the internet fulfilled both of those functions. So there's a much faster way to get people to purchase. So he was the first person on top of that. What became from Interactive Corp was Expedia. Now Richard Barton invented Expedia. So what he had is the concept of the GDS, Global Distribution System, which is IBM old green screen technology. He put the GUI on it so that consumers can then access that, what you needed to call a travel agent for. He then, from Expedia, went to do Zillow, which is Zillow is the real estate version of Expedia. It's taking the MLS and putting that online. So I consider this person quite a visionary. Steve Kaufer, the original actual engineer that from the beginning built TripAdvisor from the ground up, still writes code for TripAdvisor. The largest traveled website for the last 5 years, more traffic on TripAdvisor than any other travel website. Sam Schenk, this is an interesting person too, just sold his company Hotel Tonight to Airbnb for $400 million. What's interesting about Sam Schenk is in the really early days, when we were talking about 98 to 2003, he started Sidestep. Sidestep was one of the first meta searches. If you know meta searches, that's like your kayaks and your Trivagos of the world. But he had a desktop version, a little button. He loves little buttons that do complex things, but just the click of the button. So that was Sidestep, sold that, then started Hotel Tonight, same thing, but now on a smartphone. Click that button and then find a room for that night. So there's Sam Schenk. Bob Diener. This guy's the adamant wholesaler. He's been wholesaling rooms longer than I've been alive. He started doing it just over the phone with call center desks and everything else, but then he started Hotels.com, sold Hotels.com to Expedia, and now he does Get a Room. The biggest and the best wholesaler in the industry. Glenn Fogel, this is the architect. I consider this person a genius. This is the architect behind the meteoric rise of Booking.com. What his specialty is automation, brilliant automation. He has twice the revenue per employee than any other companies. So revenue per employee is how we look at as an indicator of automation in the tech space. And Booking.com is over $1 million per employee, twice what their competition is. So he's winning the automation war. Steve Hafner, this person is brilliant. He is the architect behind Kayak and Metasearch. And if you know Metasearch, the amount of data and numbers you have to crunch and how competitive it is to stay in the Metasearch world, that's what Steve Hafner specializes in. Now he is also the CEO of OpenTable. So now I hope I pointed a picture of who these tech evangelists are and why they're so talented. So now we've got our 10%. These are the people that have set the table. These are the people that are going to take us up that bell curve. Now, this is stage 2. So we're going up to 2004 to 2014. So why 2014 is important? Because in that apex, if you draw a line down there, everything left of that line has to do with how many reservations is online that's going directly into a property management system. In 2014, North America and Europe hit 50%. So we're now completely at 50% at 2014 of the populations making their reservations online. So now we move to stage 3. We're going down the curve. So I don't know if you noticed this, but subtly we had wavy, happy lines, but now we have a very hard, straight line here because things are going to get a little bit tough. We're now at 50%, things are serious. The people that thought the internet might be a fad, it was going away, no, they know that it's here to stay, and they know that what we're working on now are even more complex problems. I feel like we're hitting our stride as Hotel Planner in this stage 3 because what we're working on is getting somebody to put their credit card down for a $200, $300 hotel reservation is fine. We work in the range of trying to go $3,000, $30,000, $300,000 because we're trying to do hotel rooms plus banquet space, meeting space, and make that a complete transaction online. So for us to get that rest of the population, to get up to that 80% of the population making their reservation online, we have to start solving more and more complex problems. So now you have Alexa, you have AI, you have all of the voice activated. It's just going to take us to the next level where, your grandmother can basically say, book me into the Smith wedding block, and Alexa's going to know her name, know that she's related to that wedding, automatically know through databases like us where that wedding's taking place and where to put her reservation. That's getting to that next one as we're crawling up the ladder. So now we're in stage 4. This is the final stage. The final stage is the 10% that never want to use the internet. They only see bad things out of the internet. And I call these the adversarial regulators. And it started in 2018, and it goes on forever. Because once something is established, it always will be regulated. And when you saw the big part of this is if you all saw Zuckerberg, last year at the congressional hearings, and you saw the kind of questions that were asked, that the people who were asking those questions weren't experts in the field of what Zuckerberg is an expert at. In fact, you saw a lot of fear, aggression in the way those questions were asked. I'm a big supporter of Facebook. I'm a big supporter of obviously the internet and its transparency and the ease of use it brings. If you think about it, you can go into any store and you can buy anything and be recorded. Your face will be on video. But yet we're pushing for web commerce companies to be able to access less and less data using personal privacy rights. But really, we should want to encourage e-commerce to have as much information as we can because then information flows more quickly and we cut down on fraud. This is a great invention for the next generation, and we want to make sure that we keep it innovating. And I feel like the pressures that are coming from right now is this regulation. this fear aggression for adversarial regulation. And if you look at every headline where 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was all about great innovation, now it's all about regulation. Airbnb's in trouble for this, Uber's in trouble for that. So if one thing that I can leave with everybody from this presentation is regulation kills the revolution. And we don't need more regulation, so let's keep the revolution going. Remember, regulation kills the revolution. Thank you very much.